Have you ever noticed that some D&D items just stick? Like, you don't even remember the plot of the adventure, but you remember all the cool stuff you did with the dope Avalon. How do we consistently make items like that for our players? That question's been bugging me. I've just been sitting here thinking about it, and I've come up with some insights that I'm going to share with you today. Lesson 1 is tie it to what they care about. Lesson 2, open up brand new playstyles. Lesson 3, let it evolve with them. Alright, from here on out, we're going to dive into each of those in a lot more detail, and I'm going to give some item ideas that I've come up with myself. Let's jump into it. Lesson 1, tie it to who or what they care about. Now, my favorite way of doing this, in a way I think is very powerful, is any NPC that they already love, or you want them to love deeper, have that NPC really go out of their way, make some major personal sacrifices in order to gift them this item. Think about the Lost Mines of Phandelver. You rescue Gundren. Gundren is this longtime friend of yours, and Gundren wants to repay the party back, and you want the party to love Gundren. You want there to be this bond between the two of them. And Gundren's a dwarf, so maybe once he's released from Cragmaw Castle and potentially wounded or beaten from his experience there, he stands up and maybe missing a limb or just bloody and bruised, he goes over to the forge and he starts forging a unique item for each party member. What's even cooler, at the end of that adventure, they unlock the Forge of Spells. At this point, Gundren can take their unique items and then go ahead and forge magic into them so they evolve over time. If an item is made for a specific character, then have that character name it. There's something special about naming an item that is specifically built for you. It really ties them together. Maybe take some blood from your party members, and when Gundren forges these blades, he uses a bit of their blood, and so the blades evolve with them over time. Just really cool stuff you can do to make it feel unique to them and tie it to someone they care about or something they care about. Another example of this comes from one of my characters named Eleonora. She had this backstory. She's a half-elf, but she never met her human father. She has one thing of his though, and it's a harp bow. She was a bard archer, a bardcher, and so she was able to play the harp and use it as a bow at the same time, and it was her one connection to this person she never knew, and so on a personal level she cared about this item. And I really like that. It grounds the players into the world, it ties them to it and ties them to their story. They have a physical representation of their story. I love that. Think about which one your player is going to care more about. A +1 dagger, or a dagger forged by someone they rescued to show their appreciation. And if their theme is the sun and moon, maybe 2 daggers are made, one for the sun, one for the moon. And then that dagger evolves with them over time. Maybe at first, it's just a simple dagger. Then maybe it becomes a +1 dagger. And then it starts to lesson 2, open up new playstyles. Now maybe it allows you to move past enemies and their reactions are made at disadvantage. That's one of the daggers. And the other one gives you 10 feet of extra movement speed, completely increasing your hit and run mobility playstyle. If your player is wanting to do that kind of playstyle, but they're playing a ranger and it's not really working, you can let them now play that playstyle. Pretty cool. And we can expand this concept, this adapt new playstyles. My rule of thumb with this is utility and mobility is better than stats or damage or defense. Forget those two. Mobility, utility. Those two things are way cooler. Going back to Eleonora's harp bow, it gained the utility about 5 levels in that twice a day I could shoot an arrow that would vibrate, and it vibrated at a frequency that would basically turn physical objects to dust over a couple rounds. I like to call this concept Pandora's box. You give your players something unique that you have no idea how they're going to put it to use. My DM gave me that. He had no idea that when it came to naval combat, I could shoot the wood bottom of a ship and just let that whole ship sink because a giant hole was torn into it. That's a really cool option that he never expected. Or maybe I could use it to go through a wall that there was never supposed to be a door there, but now there's a door there. Cool things like that. Another example I love here is for the Eldritch Knight specifically. The Eldritch Knight has this ability as a bonus action they can teleport their weapon back to them, and it barely ever gets used. Rarely does that ability get used or used effectively, but given the right weapon, they can do amazing things with it. Pandora's box things. Here's an example. When you're attuned to this +1 magic sword, it only moves when it's either in its scabbard or when the person who is attuned to it is holding it. If you let go of it, it becomes an immovable rod or an immovable sword. So now, imagine you're having this cart chase. There's one cart here, another cart here. You're the one in front, and you're being chased by these baddies. You just hold your sword out, let go, it becomes an immovable rod. They careen right into it, burst their cart apart, and then you can bonus action teleport it back to you to be resheathed. That's just one option. You are sleeping. You need to defend yourself, so you let go of your sword in front of the door, so it's basically a superior lock. Pandora's box. Who knows how your party is going to figure out how to use that? But whatever they come up with, it's going to be awesome, and that's what I love about Lesson 2. Give your players Pandora's box. Lesson 3, I've honestly touched on a couple times throughout this, but let the most important item for your player grow with them. They're given this special item that is just a dagger at first, but over time, because they've infused their blood magic into it, it evolves with them. They might even have a say in how it evolves. Maybe when they level up on certain levels, maybe 5, 11, or 17, they get options at what to pick for their character. Do they want to be more hit and run? Do they want to focus more on X, Y, or Z? I think that's really cool. Eleanor's heart bow was that way, and these daggers I've been talking about from the Lost Mines of Phandelver are that way as well. So those are my 3 core lessons, and I just kind of want to end this video by just story time. I just want to tell you some of the favorite things I did with some cool magic items in the past, and some ideas I have that are Pandora's box ideas. So you guys may have heard of Kevin. He was my barbarian in the Curse of Strahd, and he had the dope javelin. The DM handed me a new magic javelin and was about to give me the name, and I said, nope, don't even tell me the name. I'm naming it. It's the dope javelin. And I'm telling you guys, the dope javelin was legendary. So many cool moments with this thing. I was fighting this one character who every time I missed an attack, he was able to disarm me. Pull out the dope javelin, I go to stab him, eventually I miss, he catches it, throws it behind him, but instead of me just being weaponless, I was able to teleport to the dope javelin behind him, grab it, and stab him in the back. Badass. But the most badass moment with it, a rock picked up my ally, took them away, swooped away. They were like 90 feet away. Everybody else is like, well, that character's dead, but not Kevin. Kevin grabs his dope javelin, chucks it up in the air, teleports, catches the bird's foot. He uses his massive strength to rip this bird's grip off of his ally. The ally begins to fall, so he jumps after them skydiving, catches him, puts his back towards the ground, and then rages right before hitting the ground. So when he slams into the ground, he takes half bludgeoning damage and protected his ally. Saved their butt. And honestly, that's just the tip of the iceberg, what I did with the dope javelin. That thing was sick. Okay, 2 ideas I have that I just think are cool Pandora's box items. I love the idea of mobility and utility, so let's mix it into a 1. It's a gauntlet that has a magic grapple to it, 30-foot range. And if it can attach to something, it just automatically does, and you can choose whenever you want to detach it. It also lets you reel yourself in, or if it's smaller than you, reel it into you. So option 1 is mobility. Even if there's a pillar over there, as a bonus action, you can attach your grapple to it, move 30 feet towards it. So it's just kind of like a bonus action dash, but conditional in that you have to attach to something, okay? Well, we can also use that for vertical movement. Okay, well, we can also do cool things like, if we're a Battle Master Archer, we can use the disarming attack maneuver, knock something out of their hand, bonus action grapple it. Since it's smaller than us, it comes towards us, and now we just stole their item. That's sick.
I'll be taking that.
Maybe we can do cool things like we grapple the ceiling and something that is capable of being grappled to on the ceiling, and we can swing across a big chasm or something like that. Sky's the limit. Your character's gonna figure out cool things to do with that. I can think of a couple more. You have zip lines where you can set up zip lines for your party to do quick retreats. So many cool things. Name pending, but the Ring of Animal Influence. The idea is that you take spells that normally aren't used and you make them very accessible, so they get used more often. This one is for Alter Self, but it's an enhanced version of Alter Self. Instead of the limited list you're given, whatever you can come up with. one animal part on your body. So your eyes, your nose, your hands, they transform. I would say I would limit it that you can't add something you don't already have. So you can't add wings, but you could transform your nose to be an elephant's nose. Again, sky's the limit here. Or you might be able to give yourself frog hands to stick to walls. Or you might be able to give yourself cat's eyes for night vision. Sky's the limit. I would be careful with this one just to make sure that it's always around a second level spell. Sure, you can give yourself dark vision, but you can't give all your allies dark vision. Sure, you can spider climb, but you have to use your hands as part of that. Stuff like that. All right, those are my ideas. I would love to hear your ideas about magic items. What is the coolest magic item you've ever seen or designed yourself? Why do you think it stands out? What are the coolest magic item moments from your campaign? I've been really thinking a lot about this, and I'd love to hear your ideas because I know you guys are going to come up with better ones than me. All right, my friends, always good to talk to you, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.